Hello, guys. Happy Friday, wherever you are. Um, I'm gonna make sure I can see myself on YouTube, and then I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna make some changes during this stream. I'm gonna change the format up a little bit. I'm gonna jump right in. Shout out to Venice. I'm gonna jump right in and present what I have to present, and then I'll do the conjecture and all the talking afterwards. I understand that some people can't watch videos for a certain amount of time, and people get frustrated if you don't jump right into your subject matter right away. So I'm going to jump into the subject matter right away, and then get into, and then wherever it goes after that, it goes there. So I'm going to play the intro, and then I'll jump right in. I'm going to read one article today. I'm not going to try to squeeze in a bunch of information. I'm going to read one piece, and then I'm going to hang on for a little bit. If no one's here, I'll shut this down. If someone's here in the chat and wants to chat back and forth with me, we can do that, but I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to play the intro, and then I'm going to jump right in. All right. See you on the other side. This is short. All right, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. Okay, so shout out to Bo Little once again. I'm not going to ask for subscribers. I'm not going to ask for likes. Respect is earned. So if you all are watching this and you feel the need, if you feel compelled to like this content, if you feel compelled to subscribe, have at it. But respect is earned, so I'm not going to ask for it. I did a stream on my original channel last week talking about lessons learned YouTubing. And I talked about the commenters and some of the aggressive and nasty comments viewers and commenters leave. And I got taken out to the woodshed for my that last stream. Let's catch up on the latest Michigan football news. But anyway, let's jump right in, because I know some people don't like when you talk too much before getting to the subject matter. I'm at about almost 4 minutes. Blue Dove PDX says, howdy, listening while working. Thank you for being here. All right. The super chat is live. If you want to make a donation, my information, my Cash App and PayPal are here. I'm not, you don't have to. Respect is earned. You don't have to. It's totally up to you guys. Same thing with the likes and the subscriptions. So if you have reaction to anything I read, I'm going to do one article. Please leave me your reaction, ask a question, whatever, in the chat. This is much more fun when it's interactive. Okay, we're going to revisit the quarterback race in the next 45 minutes to an hour, or however long this goes. If you guys remember, I made a pre-record. Again, that might have been too long for some people. It was 25 minutes on the quarterback battle. Should it be Cade? Should it be JJ? I did that about 2 months ago. That's in the description box. I talked about the ins and outs. I compared their stats. But we're going to be talking about this up until fall camp and even into the season, especially if Cade doesn't play well. There are going to be lots of calls for Jim to give him the hook and put the phenom in. So this article, I saw this on Twitter. It argues and it gives 4 reasons why JJ should be given the nod right now. So let me pull this up. This is short. Blue Dove PDX, and thanks for doing this. Thank you for your thank you. I appreciate that. Again, if you guys want to like, respect is earned. So I'm not going to ask, but the like button is there. Okay, this is a short piece. I see all kinds of articles on Twitter and on my Google Pixel 6. This is entitled 4 Reasons Why JJ McCarthy Should Start This Fall. Given what we witnessed in 2021 and how the 2022 schedule lines up, this feels like the right time to hand the keys over to your former 5-star quarterback. This was written by Christopher Breiler on May 28th. So this was just written. Before I jump in, Blue Dove PDX says, I'm a JJ fan. I want to see him start game 1. Yeah, it's to me, I've said this numerous times. This is Lloyd Carr, Tom Brady, and Drew Henson all over again. Jimbo and his offensive coaching staff. They have a hard decision to make. Do you play the veteran who won you the Big Ten title and got you to the national semifinal? Or do you put in your phenom who's got all the measurables? He's got the arm strength. He's got the mobility. He's got all the upside, but he doesn't have the experience. And if you don't play him, does he transfer? Does he enter the transfer portal? And then do you continue rotating them in and out this season? Anyway, let's see what Christopher has to say. Fall camp might still be a few months away, but it's never too early to start debating the quarterback situation in Ann Arbor. One of the biggest stories heading into the 2022 season for Michigan is the decision that head coach Jim Harbaugh has to make between 2 very capable quarterbacks. On one hand, Cade McNamara returns for his senior season after helping lead Michigan to a win over Ohio State and the Big Ten championship. On the other hand, former 5-star recruit JJ McCarthy has spent a year in Harbaugh's system and has proven that he has the talent to compete at the highest level. With that being said, here's why I think it's a no-brainer to roll with JJ McCarthy as Michigan's 1-week starter. So after last season, JJ, he showed he has arm strength, he has accuracy, he has a lot of zip on the ball, he has mobility. We didn't see him play an entire game, so we don't know if he can manage the team for an entire game. Can he manage the clock? Can he manage the offense through droughts? Will he turn the ball over in critical situations on the road? We don't know. We saw flashes of brilliance. Of course, we had the Michigan State fumble. I see Abdul Gaines is there. He's a Mel Tucker fan and an Ohio State fan. So we know that JJ and Blake Corum had that turnover at the end of that game. And then we saw flashes of brilliance against Georgia. Though Bulldog fan, you can go to that live stream on my channel, and Bulldog fan was very outspoken about, yeah, JJ did all that stuff, but he did that against our second and third stringers. So JJ didn't do that against our first stringers. So what we saw in the national semifinal, was that a true display of what JJ could do against top talent, or was that truly just JJ shining against Georgia's second and third string players? But that's what Bulldog fans said. I have some comments here. Of course, Abdul Gaines is coming in saying JJ is getting beat this Thanksgiving weekend. I can't wait for Thanksgiving weekend. And Antoine, what's going on, Antoine? Thank you for stopping through. We have too many weapons. Not to use JJ. It would be foolish to limit the offense, especially with our receiving core this year. Yeah, I think the pressure is going to be on immediately for Cade. If Cade does the dink and dunk thing right away, and maybe the first loss, well, whenever we have that first loss, if it's due to Cade's play, those calls are going to come very, very quickly. Blue Dove PDX says the only way to know how he will perform for a full game is for Harbaugh to give him that opportunity. Okay, let me finish this. Thank you guys for commenting. Please keep the comments coming. Entering his senior season in Ann Arbor, quarterback Cade McNamara deserves all the credit in the world for the role he played in helping to guide Michigan to a Big Ten championship in 2021. His reliability and ball security on the field was critical for a team that was still learning to play championship level football. And also remember, we lost our number one receiver in Ronnie Bell. So Cade and the offense, they gelled as much as they could based around the running game, but also without the dean of our wide receiver core. That being said, this is a new year and a new season, and it's clear as day that sophomore quarterback J.J. McCarthy is the superior athlete between the two. I don't disagree with that. Throughout the 2021 campaign, I routinely watched Cade McNamara make some really good plays that I know J.J. McCarthy is also capable of making. On the flip side, I also routinely watched J.J. McCarthy make some incredible plays during the 2021 season, plays that I just don't believe Cade McNamara is capable of making. In instances that would have likely otherwise resulted in a sack with McNamara behind center, McCarthy's ability to escape the pocket led to some of Michigan's most explosive plays of the 2021 campaign. His arm talent, combined with his mobility, makes him extremely dangerous and difficult to defend when he's on the football field. You can see countless examples of this in the footage below. That's from YouTube. I'm not going to play that because I don't want a copyright strike. But this article is below, guys, if you want to hit the link to that article and watch that yourself. Please keep the comments coming. Okay. Number 2, the schedule. Look, I get it. Every single game on the schedule, let me scroll so you got that picture. Every single game on the schedule is important and matters, but the reality of the situation is that Michigan should cruise through the first 4 weeks of the 2022 season with relative ease. The Wolverines open the season with 4 straight home games against Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, and Maryland, teams that finished with a combined record of 17-33 in 2021. If there are any growing pains that J.J. McCarthy still needs to overcome as a full-time starter, it would seem that the 2022 season provides a golden opportunity for that to happen right out of the gate. So number 3, the personnel. There you see a picture of Darius Clemens, Andrew Anthony, and Roman Wilson at the spring game. While there are certainly some question marks remaining on the defensive side of the ball, the offense is having a bit of a different problem, an abundance of talent and experience. With a backfield consisting of Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, along with a wide receiver group that consists of guys like Andrew Anthony, AJ Henning, Cornelius Johnson, Mike Sainristil, Darius Clemens, Ronnie Bell, etc., the Wolverines certainly aren't starved for talent on the offensive side of the ball. Add in the experience of guys like Zach Zinter, Trevor Keegan, and Ryan Hayes up front, and it seems like you've got a pretty good formula for a young and extremely talented quarterback to find his footing relatively quickly. And finally, 4, the timing. McCarthy, Michigan's 3rd highest rated quarterback since 2000. I think that was Drew Henson's junior season. And he got the nod once Tom Brady graduated. He got the full-time nod. McCarthy, Michigan's 3rd highest rated quarterback since 2000, spent most of the 2021 season watching and observing from the sidelines. In the limited reps he did receive, the freshman quarterback still found ways to dazzle fans with his athleticism, reminding everyone why there was so much hype surrounding his recruitment. See the highlight video above. Again, I'm not going to play it. You guys can watch that if you want to. After over a year of growth in Harbaugh's system and some critical in-game experience on the field, coupled with the fact that the 2022 schedule sets up very nicely for the Wolverines, it feels like now is the time. Hand the keys over to your former 5-star quarterback and let him do what he came to Ann Arbor to do. So that's the only article I'm going to read. That's the only thing I have to present today. So I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, and I'm going to take a look now at your comments there in the chat. Once again, if you feel so inclined, the super chat is live. My Cash App and PayPal are there. And also, if you're watching on the playback, there's a feature called a super thanks, and which I think is similar to a super chat. So if you want to leave a super thanks, if you're watching this on the playback after hours or whenever you watch this, I know that when I do these lunchtime streams on Fridays, the views don't start rolling in until the weekend and then into the next week. So if you want to leave a super thanks, you're welcome to do so. So let's read your comments. Antoine's been pretty active here in the chat. He says, we have too many weapons not to use JJ. We would be foolish to limit the offense, especially with our receiving core this year. Yep, we are pretty deep at wide receiver. I read this one. Antoine says, having Cade at quarterback sometimes keeps other teams around. He's a decent quarterback, but he's limited. Yeah, but I think the X factor is on the road at Nebraska and Wisconsin. Cade managed the game. Now, the argument could be made that if you put JJ in there, and you're blowing the doors off the other team, maybe you don't need a game manager. But that's what I liked about Cade last year, was that on the road, he managed the game. Now, here's the other thing. And I see some more comments coming in. What helped Cade manage those games was Hassan Haskins. Hassan Haskins won a lot of those games for us with his legs. So he's gone now. So you're going to have more of a shifty, speedy backfield. So the mix is going to be a little different, but that, to me, that's the question with JJ in those close nail-biter games. How would he manage the offense in a hostile environment? In a hostile environment. Antoine says, with this week's schedule, we can definitely test some theories on who's the best quarterback. Let's see, I see some more folks coming in. If you feel so inclined, you can hit the like button if you think what I'm saying and doing is worthy of those likes. Antoine says, I said this on another show, having JJ sit on the bench is like having a Ferrari in the driveway and you're scared to drive it. We can get to point A and B. We can get to point A and B much faster with him without holding our breath. Antoine says, Cade is like Joe Flacco. He's a nice, dependable quarterback, a very safe choice if JJ gets hurt, but he cannot necessarily throw you back into a game. And that's interesting because in the Joe Milton shortened season, when Cade came in, he was just zipping the ball down the field. He was reading the defenses at the line of scrimmage. So it was a very different look than the one we saw last year. Last year, the Cade McNamara we saw was more of a game manager, and he threw when he made throws, but as Devin Gardner and Sam Webb pointed out, he wasn't throwing receivers open, and he was waiting too long to deliver the ball in terms of when the receivers would make their breaks. So there were completions and yardage and touchdowns that Cade left on the field. Antoine, thank you for the $5 super chat. If anyone else wants to make a super chat or a cash app or whatever, you're welcome to do so if you see fit. And also, if you're watching on the playback, you can leave a super thanks. A lot of good comments here. Mike Wolverine said our offense would have another threat. Yeah, definitely. He's a threat. He's got the arm strength, the accuracy, and he can take off and run. Probably more readily than Cade can. Cade, I think once the pocket, once the offensive line kind of created some lanes, Cade can tuck it. He could tuck it and he can run, but JJ's got those extra gears. Mike says Cade is a really good player, but I think he has reached his upside. Okay. It's got to be a lot of pressure on that kid. He won the Big Ten. He got us to the national semifinal game, but he's got to be hearing some of this. It's got to be a high pressure situation. Mike says JJ has a better arm and is a lot faster. Guys, to me, this is Tom Brady and Drew Henson all over again. Let's see. Abdul Gaines, CJ Stroud is better than JJ. That's from the Buckeye Nation. Mike says the Michigan offense would average 40 plus points easily with JJ, with Cade, or about 20 to 30. Antoine says also starting Cade may hinder recruiting, especially with Dante Moore. He might wonder why the hell isn't JJ starting, and do I want to come to an offense that doesn't allow me to throw? Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of tweets about that kid on Twitter. So Jim and the coaching staff really want that kid. That kid appears to be very, very talented. I haven't seen him play, but he's on social media. That's what I'm saying. Blue Love PDX says managing the game seems to be why close games were close. Need a playmaker at quarterback, somebody that can make big plays. Cade isn't it. Now here's the question. We know that Jim is loyal to his veterans. So is that going to play out this season? Is he going to ride with Cade even through the hard times, or will he pull him out of there quickly? Or will this, shout out to the Harbaugh brothers, will this be a Alex Smith, Joe Flacco thing where Cade gets hurt and he never gets his job back? In San Francisco, it was Kaepernick, it was Colin, and in Baltimore, it was Lamar Jackson. Venice, I took your advice this stream. I jumped right in, got right to the article. Go Blue, thank you for stopping through. Venice says, only concern with JJ is can he stay healthy playing the way he does? Yeah, that's a good point, because it's one thing to get out there and run around, but he's going to have to learn how to run out of bounds, slide, and not get himself blasted. A lot of mobile quarterbacks have to learn how not to take those really hard hits. So that's something hopefully they're working on. Mike says, I just wish JJ had Cade's leadership and toughness. Now, there's a thing, the intangibles. And since I said this is Tom Brady and Drew Henson all over again, remember the NFL scouts, they didn't like Tom Brady's measurables, but it was the immeasurables. It was the leadership and the toughness that made Tom Brady Tom Brady. It wasn't the cannon arm. It wasn't those things. It was this, and it was this. So it's entirely possible JJ could get in there, and he might not have the same mind and the same heart and toughness. Let's see. Venice gives a laughing emoji. I think this is in regards to those kind comments he and Bo Little left me last week. It was 2 weeks ago. My dad was here, and then he says 100 and fist bump. Antoine says, I think JJ was taking more risk because he only had a handful of plays to do something. Maybe he will settle down if he knows that he will have an opportunity to stay out there. Yeah. He aside from the fumble, the JJ Blake Corum fumble at the end of the Michigan State game, which we probably would have won if it wasn't for the strip sack that they took back, the David Ojabo, Aiden Hutchinson strip sack, and if Mike McCarthy had adjusted his defense to stop Kenneth Walker on the ground, we shouldn't have been in that position anyway. But aside from that, JJ McCarthy, Blake Corum fumble, he did nothing but good things. And I remember in that same Michigan State game, I knew that he was a freshman. I just wanted him to drop back and hand the ball off, but he did throw that touchdown pass. I believe it was Andrew Anthony's second touchdown reception that day. So he wasn't scared, and he got in there and he let it rip. So through the air and on the ground, he's shown what he can do. But can he do it over the long term? Venice says JJ has to eliminate the turnover-worthy type plays. And then Blue Dove PDX says, we saw plenty of toughness last year with JJ's runs, something Cade didn't do. Okay. Well, the other thing is that this might be a bit of a cost-benefit analysis in terms of what the coaching staff has to do if this is, in fact, Cade's senior season. Then he can easily enter the transfer portal and go someplace else. Or, if they decide to go with JJ, then you'd only be losing 1 year of Cade's production. So you're gambling on JJ being that great, and then you're gambling on Cade making that next step. But if you don't go with Cade, then the flip side is you're only losing 1 year from him. Blue Dove says, and even Harbaugh is saying JJ displays a great degree of leadership. Not worried about that. Venice says, go watch JJ's high school tape. He is very close. He's very loose with the ball, super talented, but at times reckless with the ball. And that's what in those late game situations in Camp Randall and at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln or at Happy Valley, that's what would cost us the games. That right there. If he's loose with the ball, if he's reckless with the ball, if he doesn't know when to throw the ball away, that right there is what would cost us those games. Let's see. I'm going to hang on for just a little bit longer. You guys are being very active there in the chat, so I'm going to go for just a little bit longer. Antoine says, people talk about JJ's turnovers in the Michigan State game. Perhaps we may not have been in that situation if we had JJ started. Not only that you stick with him in a muddy, rainy game, what are you expecting him to do? Okay, so I think you're saying one of the ways we would not have been in that situation is if he had started. So, okay, I could see that. Venice says, got to put some respect on Cade. He did beat OSU and win the Big Ten, so he's not awful. Well, again, Venice, and that was without our senior wide receiver, but also that was a balanced effort. And that game was won largely on the shoulders of our offensive line and Hassan Haskins running. I mean, Cade made some throws. He sure did. But he did not carry the entire game. He didn't turn the – well, he did throw one pick. He did throw one pick. But he didn't – but he managed the game and he took what was there. So that's what won us that. And then Ohio State fan would argue that they were down during this past season. So I think we're going to see an angry Ohio State team for Thanksgiving 2022. I'm going to hang on for a few more minutes. Appreciate the interaction in this stream. Blue Dove PDX says, let's not forget that last year Cade had 6 interceptions, JJ had 2. But yeah, Blue, I would argue that that's because Cade played more. You know, JJ got in sporadically, but I'm certain if JJ played more, you might have seen more picks on his part and more turnovers. He says it's not about Cade being awful. It's about having the best on the field. I see some more folks have come in. If you see fit to hit the like button and to subscribe, I'm not going to ask. I'll just point it out. Shout out to Bo Little. Respect is earned. And if you see fit to like this stream and subscribe to my channel, have at it. If not, enjoy the show. Venice says, Jimmy loves Cade because he won't lose the game. He might not win it, but he's good enough to beat Ohio State. But being good enough to beat Ohio State is good enough for me. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes having that quarterback who's not going to lose you the game is better than having a phenom quarterback in there. So it's a cost benefit thing. Okay. I'm going to rock out for another 8 or so minutes. I see some new people come in. We're just revisiting the quarterback battle. Who should start in 3 months? I read an article here for those new people coming in. This article is below in the description box. And Christopher Breiler wrote this article giving his opinion and 4 reasons why J.J. McCarthy should start this fall. Antoine says, I give credit to Cade. He stayed composed and made some good throws, but it was because of Cade. But was it because of Cade or because we were running 20 and 30 yards a clip? I think JJ could hand the ball off and make a throw. Yeah, you gotta give Hassan Haskins and the O-line a lot of credit for what happened last season. I mean, there were plays in Lincoln and at Camp Randall where you could just see Hassan got to the line of scrimmage and just with the power of his legs, he just pushed that ball and forced himself over the line of scrimmage. And he just extended runs. So a lot of those wins have to be attributed to him and the offensive line. And, of course, against Ohio State, they pretty much had their way that day. Blue Dove says, the stats don't show JJ is a big risk or is reckless with the ball. Venice says, Tom Brady. Venice, what is that referring to in terms of Tom Brady? Is this the veteran versus the young phenom thing, or is this something else? Here we go. Abdul Gaines is trolling us again. He says, anyone can win against their biggest rival when they had 2 years of preparation. So Abdul Gaines feels like Michigan had 2 years to prepare for Ohio State thanks to the shortened season. So it's just more conjecture, more trolling, more spin, more propaganda. Just like the Lakers being a heritage team. Then it says, got to remember playing quarterback isn't just great throws. Yep. Can you manage the game? Can you get guys lined up correctly? That's right. He's the leader of the offense. He's the organizer of the offense. He can change plays. He's managing the clock. All that. So there's a lot more than just having the arm strength and the speed. Antoine says, Ohio. Okay, we got some Ohio State smack going back and forth now. He says, Ohio had 2 years to prepare for us. No excuses. That goes both ways. All right, Abdul Gaines, you done poked the bear. You done started something here. Abdul Gaines says, you can't have heritage and legacy when you have 0 rings. Okay, he's also a Laker fan, so we have this back and forth about the Lakers and the Clippers and Michael Jordan and LeBron and Kobe and who's the GOAT. So there's a lot more here, but he's trolling us as Michigan fans right now. Okay, 36 minutes. Yeah, so I think that's going to be the ultimate test. Which quarterback are we going to have when it's time to go down to the chute? And will that quarterback be able to get us a win down at the horseshoe? That's going to be exciting. That's going to be an exciting game, even if we mess around and lose it. I think it'll be exciting to see what our team can do down in Ohio Stadium this year. Antoine says, is he talking about how Ohio goes to the championship and always loses? Yeah, aside from that Urban Meyer year where they upset Alabama and mauled Oregon, yeah, they haven't done so well in postseason play. Well, they did beat in the shortened season. They did get their revenge on Clemson, which Abdul Gaines was happy about, but they didn't do so well against Bama that year. Abdul Gaines says, the Wolverines quit against playing their biggest rival. I'll never forgive or forget that. I can't wait to see the Bucks tear apart the Maize and Blue. Antoine, I think I made him a mod before he defected. And me and this guy, we go way back to high school. So he trolls, but I know him. Antoine, I'm going to give you a wrench as well. Thank you for your support and thank you for being here. I'm going to mod you up as well as a thank you. So Antoine, you're modded up now yourself. Any more thoughts and comments on this? Any more thoughts and comments? I really appreciate your interaction here at this lunchtime, during this lunchtime slot. I know a lot of people are working, and this isn't always the most opportune time to for people to watch. But the beauty of streaming and the beauty of YouTube is people can watch the playback. You thought he was going to block you. You know, I don't think any of my mods on this channel have blocked anybody else. So, and unless someone is getting so nasty out there, I just say just let everyone rock out. But so you're modded up now. I'm gonna Blue Dove. I'm gonna mod you as well. I appreciate your support here, and I appreciate your kind words at the beginning in terms of thanking me for doing this. So you're modded up as well. I'll do one last call for well, no, I'm not calling for likes anymore. Shout out to Bo Little. Respect is earned. If you enjoyed the stream, if you think this content was quality and you feel inclined to hit the like button or to hit the subscription button, I'd be very appreciative, but I'm not going to ask you to do it. So All right. It is 11:40. I'm sorry, 12:40 here on the East Coast. That's pretty much what I wanted to get to. So I know that JJ didn't play in the spring game, so we didn't get a chance to see what he could do there. Uh, and according to the reports that I saw, he was just about healed up in terms of his shoulder. So I suspect he's back on the practice field, or he will be back on the practice field for fall camp, competing for the job. So let's see what happens. With sports, that these jobs are won and lost oftentimes just by a hair. Sometimes injury plays a role, whether it's, in this instance, JJ injuring himself or getting himself injured again, or, Cade getting injured. If you guys remember, and I plan to make a pre-record on this, I don't know if any of you guys remember Matt Gutierrez. Matt Gutierrez, or Gutierrez, however you pronounce that. Matt Gutierrez was supposed to take over for John Navarre back in the 2004 season. And it was in training camp. As a matter of fact, it was just before kickoff, Matt Gutierrez tore his rotator cuff. And that paved the way for Chad Henne. So all these players are just one injury away from washing out and paving the way for the other guy or for the next guy. So you just never know. Blue Dove PDX says he held for field goals, practiced in spring camp, just didn't throw. Okay. All right, guys, I am going to wrap this up. But now that I'm at the end, I don't think anyone will mind me sharing some of the things that I shared in the first 10 minutes previously. Please consider joining the Big Words LLC newsletter. I am a writer in addition to being a YouTube content creator. I am literally getting ready to send this first newsletter out. There's a greeting there, and there's a subscription button at the bottom. You just enter in your email address, and you'll be signed up. And I promise I won't give your information away to a third party. Again, I'm a writer, in addition to a YouTube content creator. My book project is a sports-related story called The Engineers, a Western New York basketball story. That is here. The link is below in the description box. I'm going to drop both the links in the chat for you guys watching in real time. And for those of you watching on the playback, these are below in the description box. There's a description of the book. I'm going to scroll through quickly, and then there's promotional content at the bottom. Some of the videos are here on this channel. And then there are a bunch of essays at the bottom. And I have also enabled a comment section at the bottom as well, in case you go and take a look if you have time and you want to leave a comment. This project looks cool. This project looks lame. Dr. Dunbar, I can't wait till you finish this. Whatever you want to say, that there's a comment section at the bottom of that page. So now that that's out of the way, I'm going to drop these two links in. Hopefully YouTube doesn't mind. This is for my newsletter. That's for my newsletter right there. And this is the page to my book project. See, guys, I'm doing it at the end. I'm not doing it at the beginning. And maybe that's the appropriate thing to do for this channel. Because as I said on my other channel, I did a stream on the other channel called Lessons Learned YouTubing. The crowds are different. And I realized that the crowd over here is different than it is on my original channel and my science channel and on my entertainment and media channel. So you have to know your audience. All right, everyone. Thank you to those of you who hung out during the stream. Blue Dove PDX, Antoine, Venice, Abdul Gaines representing the Buckeye Nation and the Laker Nation. Thank you to all of you who have hung out. If you're watching on the playback, again, if you want to make a donation, my Cash App and PayPal are below in the description box. There's a super thanks feature for folks watching on the playback. And if you feel inclined to like this stream/video, you can leave a like. And also, if you feel inclined to subscribe, I could always use more subscribers. I am YouTube is funny. I was at 1,090 and then it went down to 1,086. So now I need 14 more to get to 1,100. So if you feel so inclined, I could always use more subscribers. Anyhow, I'm going to have some lunch and then I'm going to finish this science review. So there will be more content coming on this channel, more Michigan football content, more content related to my book. Maybe I'll do something once the NBA Finals is over. Very exciting game last night between the Celtics and the Warriors. It looked like Golden State had a handle on that game, and then Boston came back and snatched it. So more content is on the way. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Friday and be safe out there. And be safe out there this weekend. I got to slow down sometimes. Go Blue. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.